Señor, señor Daniel Garnero, buenas noches. Yo me llamo Fernando
Daniel Garnero, good evening. My name is Daniel Cribajo. I play for Publimetro Brazil. I have two questions. The first one, Paraguay lost 4-1. Was it a fair result to you given the performance in the match? Can you provide us with a short impression on Vinicius Jr.'s performance? No, actually, in particular, the first half up to the 40 minutes, it was very even. And I think we created some opportunities. Unfortunately, in the 3 minutes, we got a bit distracted, and unfortunately, they scored the two goals that made a great difference in the result. And Vinicius is an elite player, no doubt about it. Coach Marcelo Burgos, Telefuturo, Asunción, Paraguay. Coach, I will keep what you were saying about positive feelings in the previous press conference. Did you have them today as well? And regarding substitutions, these are common in your game plan. Is that something we should expect from now on? What was the first question? The positive feelings, the positives today. To me, the players made a great effort. Most of the performance in the match was even, but they scored in the relevant moment and they achieved a great goal differential, and every bounce back was negative. Two were penalty kicks, and we didn't manage to benefit from them at all, and that impacted us. But it was a great effort they made. Many points we measured up against an opponent with great players. And second one was about substitutions. Well, that depends. The second half, we started with a goal. We were getting excited, and I wanted to give that confidence to the players on the pitch to revert the situation. But then we saw a level of wear down that required substitutions. But it depends on the match. It's not a tradition for me or a theme. It's not that I would always do the same. Víctor Villalobos for Fútbol a la Grande Radio Monumental. My first question to you is that, is this our reality? We are not up to the level of the opponent, and this is a disappointing Copa America. Do you have a list for the third match, even though we are already out of the tournament? What was the first part? Yes, if maybe we don't have the level to play in this type of tournament, if we have to get used to it. No, I don't think this is our reality. We have players that have a level that is superior to the results, and we are focusing on the result, and the result was terrible. We are not finding the net. Damian shot to the angle, and it was blocked by the goalkeeper. And in the second half, Julito Enciso was shooting at the angles, and it was blocked by the goalkeeper as well. But the responsibility for the result in this Copa America is my own. Coach, given the analysis you might do today, working for the Paraguayan national team, what is missing in the structure to be once more the strong national team we once knew. It was almost writing history in the South African World Cup. What are we missing? Is it structure? No, well, it's not a structure. I can only speak about my cycle, and I think we have achieved the level, we have improved our performance, and we are making mistakes offensively and defensively. The second goal came from a rebound ball, and sometimes this happens in football. You try and you cannot achieve the result. And we are going through a very difficult time right now. Radio Tribuna Digital, coach, I have two questions as my colleagues here. First, normally during qualifiers, national teams don't have the time to work as groups, and the players just get there, they play their match, and they go back. In an experience as Copa America, I imagine you have had more time to work with the national team. In that sense, did you draw any conclusions? Was it a good time to prepare for the qualifiers in the second half this year and the run-up to the World Cup in North America? And then the excessive individualism of Enciso is a topic when you talk to him, even his protagonism. It is dangerous, or it jeopardizes the national team. Do you discuss that with him? I will start with the first question, and then I'll ask you to repeat the second one. Or the first one, sorry. I will start with the second one. Julio has many things to learn, but he's a very disruptive player. He is a top scorer, and he takes responsibility, and he's accountable. But he now is under the pressure of feeling that he has to change our fate, and maybe that is jeopardizing his career or affecting his career. He doesn't have to save anyone. He just has to perform well, team up with his colleagues, and try to create opportunities, because we really use him in the defense, and he will improve on that, and I have no doubt he will also change his mindset. I cannot say anything today about results regarding your first question, but I do notice improvements, notable improvements in the performance, in how to occupy spaces, in the intensity. But if we don't find the net, it seems as everything's wrong. But I do notice an improvement, even though the results aren't coming. Jorge García, Radio Sucre, Ecuador. Two questions. First one, Miguel Almirón is now an experienced player in Uruguay, and Julio Enciso is one of the promises and realities right now in Paraguay. What are you after with him in the same area on the field, given that they're similar players? And we follow Alexar, the forward in Paraguay, and in Quito, he goes down a couple meters like Michael Estrada. What was the idea adding him in the lineup today against Brazil? For Alex, well, we always look for that alternative and to have Julio to play a bit more loose. We don't want Julio to be right next to Miguel. We want him to play behind the midfielders, to connect with Alex, Damian, Miguel. And in that 1v1, he takes the lead, and that was the idea. And what was the first question? What are you after with Miguel and Julio playing together? Well, right, yeah, what I mentioned. I don't think they are playing in the same area. Miguel, they are different players. Miguel is so fast, and he can attack more in the spaces, and Julio can play a little bit down, and they complement each other very well. They supplement each other's performance. In the first match, you talked about good feelings. Now you're talking about rebound balls, or well, among other things. That was the only thing I said. No, I clarified among other things. But we conceded 6 goals in 2 matches. What is the guarantee of performance and competitiveness we have in the run-up to the qualifiers? And I want to have a second question. Guarantee, yes, for the performance of the national team, because you have been in this role for a couple of months and they haven't improved. Well, that is your analysis. Well, that is why I'm asking. Well, we played against 2 very strong teams. These are world-class teams. It's not only South American teams, Colombia and Brazil. It's complicated being in my place, and I've seen a great effort by the team. They've measured up, but we still need to achieve the results. Today we had 2 opportunities before they converted, before they finished one of their opportunities. If, of course, the urgency of the opponent, we have to deal with it differently, but I do think that there are differences. Well, my colleague asked, and I want to insist, that when you took on this role, you said that you were going to still criticize, or in a good way, that you were going to still analyze the structure and the Paraguayan football. Now you're avoiding the question or answering the question. I am not avoiding providing you with an answer. Well, he asked about 2010 and asked from 2010 onwards. Do you want me to talk about that time? There have been many head coaches and no one's finding the solution. There's a qualifier. We're here about to talk about a match that has just finished. You have to ask about what has just finished. I cannot discuss or talk about something that happened ages ago. Klaus Hedgemont placard for Brazil. Daniel, at many points we saw that Vinicius Jr. had some issues with other players on the pitch. Some issues, discussions, or arguments during the first half. What is your take on Vinicius' style? Is it provocative or a daunting player that maybe sometimes takes it too far, in particular in the first half? On the style of Vinicius Jr., if he goes beyond the limits, of course he has way of playing that could, be described as such, but it is up to the referee to limit him. Last question. Carlos Meneses, Agencia F. Given the now that we're out of the knockouts, how are you going to take on the next match? Well, of course, we are very upset. We're not even thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow. So we have to assimilate this, but it was a hard hit. It wasn't what we expected, and tomorrow